Okay, everyone, this is for Chapter 13, Bouncing Berkway. It was time to tell Graham and Gramps about Mr. Berkway. Mr. Berkway was mighty strange. He was an English teacher, and when I met him on the first day in my new school, I didn't know what to make of him. I thought he might have a few squirrels in the attic of his brain. He was one of those energetic teachers who loved his subject half to death and leaped about the room dramatically, waving his arms and clutching his chest and patting people on the back. He said brilliant and wonderful and terrific. He was quite tall and slim, and his bushy black hair made him look like a wild native at times. But he had enormous deep brown cow-like eyes and sparkled all over the place like Ben's. And when he turned these eyes on you, you felt as if his whole purpose in life was to stand there and listen to you, and you alone. Midway through the first class, Mr. Berkway asked if we had our summer journals. I hadn't a clue as to what he was talking about. Some of the other students started nodding like crazy, and Mr. Berkway spread out his arms and said, "Wonderful, I'm blessed." He flung himself up and down the aisles, receiving the journals as if they were manna from heaven. "Thank you," he said to each journal giver. I was extensively worried I had no journal. On top of Mary Lou Finney's desk were 6 journals. 6! Mr. Berkway said, "Heavens mercy! Can it be? Shakespeare?" He counted the journals. 6 brilliant, magnificent. Christy and Megan, 2 girls who had their own club called GGP, whatever that meant, were whispering over on the other side of the room and casting malevolent looks in Mary Lou's direction. Mary Lou kept her hand on top of the journals as Mr. Berkway reached for them in a low voice. She said, "I don't want you to read them." "What?" Mr. Berkway boomed. "Not read them." The whole room was silent. Mr. Berkway scooped Mary Lou's journals before she could even blink. He said, "Don't worry, your thoughts are safe with me." "Brilliant, thank you." Another girl, Beth Ann, looked as if she might cry. Phoebe was sending me little messages with her eyebrows that indicated that she was not too pleased either. I think they were all hoping that Mr. Berkway was not actually going to read these journals. Mr. Berkway went around the whole room snatching people's journals. Alex Keevy's journal was covered with basketball stickers. Christy and Megan's were slathered over with pictures of male models. The cover of Ben's was a cartoon of a boy with a normal boy's head, but the arms and legs were pencils, and out on the tips of the hands and feet were little bits of words. When we got to Phoebe's desk, Mr. Berkway lifted up her plain journal and peeked inside. Phoebe was trying to slide down in her chair. "I didn't write much," Phoebe said. "In fact, I can't hardly remember what I wrote about at all." Mr. Berkway only said, "Beautiful," and moved on. By the time he got to my desk, my heart was clobbering around so hard I thought it might leap straight out of my chest. "Deprived child," he said, "you didn't even have a chance to write a journal." "I'm new. New. How blessed," he said. "There's nothing in this whole wide world that is better than a new person. So I didn't know about the journals." "No, not to worry," Mr. Berkway said. "I'll think of something." I wasn't sure what that meant. I thought maybe he would give me a whole lot of extra homework or something. For the rest of the day, you could see little groups of people asking each other, "Did you write about me?" I was very glad I hadn't written anything. After school, Phoebe and I walked home with Mary Lou and Ben, who were excited about Mr. Berkway. "Isn't he terrific?" they said. At the corner of my street, as I turned to leave, Ben said to Phoebe, "Hey, Freebie, did you write me?" For a while, we did not hear any more about the journals. We had absolutely no idea of all the trouble that they were going to cause.